Hello and welcome to Maxim Foods Inside Track. Only 5 more sleeps till Christmas. I hope everyone's excited about the holiday season. I know I am. It's been a really solid year, so I hope everyone enjoys a nice break and then we'll get back into it for 2024. Let's have a look at the dairy industry. Start off with whole milk powder. So a positive result last night. Traditionally the last GDT of the year is not an eventful one, but it was good to see an uptick in whole milk powder with some solid demand across the regions. North Asia were solid buyers last night, increasing their activity from last GDT. Milk flow has been reasonably good for the start of December in New Zealand. So pricing or supply has remained there, but so has the demand, hence a bit of an uptick in pricing. The O'Neill tender, international tender there over the last couple of weeks has gobbled up some surplus supply around the globe, so we should see a stable pricing to maybe a firm outlook on whole milk powder coming into Q1. Having a look at skim milk powder, if we were looking across the regions in the US, things remain quite steady and well balanced in supply and demand. In the EU, some big international tenders swallowing up some surplus and slightly bullish conditions in skim in the EU. If we look over in Australia and New Zealand, for the last sort of 4 weeks or 2 GDTs, it's been quite flat activity there. A bit like the fruit cake on your Christmas table. It's well in supply, but no one really too excited to eat it at the moment. So a reasonably flat outlook for skim in the next quarter. Having a look at global conditions on butterfat, if we look in the US, in a broad summary, firm pricing and limited supply. In the EU, saw some really bullish conditions in November. Pricing has settled December, but still a firm outlook for Q1 for the EU butter. In Australia and New Zealand, on this side of the fence, we do see some limited supply, in particular New Zealand butter. There was volume stripped off the platform, the GDT platform on Friday, which resulted in that 10% hike last night. So plenty of demand activity and limited supply of butter, which will lead to a pretty bullish outlook for Q1 2024. Having a look at whey powder, so on sweet whey powder, outlook seems quite stable to a little bit firm. Demand is good. In the protein side of things, whey protein isolate has enjoyed a very bullish run, so some real scarcity globally has really led to some good demand and firm pricing. Where the end will be, we don't know, but it really has hiked in the last 2 months. With that, WPC not as bullish, however supply is scarce and pricing firm. Finishing off with cheese, we'd normally see some very bullish conditions this time of year, being the festive season. Plenty of cheese eaters out there like myself, but demand has been a little sluggish compared to previous Decembers. In the US, the market not as bullish as we'd expect. The CME pricing tapering off a little bit in the last 2 weeks. In the EU, demand stable, pricing relatively stable as well. Australia and New Zealand, it's a peculiar setup at the moment. There's been some good milk flow in Australia in late November, early December, over and above forecasts, which has seen a bit more cheese on the market in Australia and then also in New Zealand. So a bit more cheese than what is normally around this time of year, so a slightly softer conditions and a softer outlook on cheese for Q1. In summary, after a very volatile 21 and 22, 2023 has been a bit more of a year of stability in the markets, which has been very much welcomed globally. I hope you all have a safe and Merry Christmas. Thanks very much for listening for the year and look forward to seeing you in the new year 2024.